Hello, I'm Simon and welcome to the SciRob YouTube channel. Now, if you've got an oil leak on your Volvo, particularly if it's towards the right hand side near where all the belts are, if it's a transverse mounted engine like mine, it could be something as simple as the front crank oil seal or the oil pump seals. So I'm going to show you how you can get a very dramatic looking oil leak, and yet it can be solved using parts, genuine parts, which cost less than £20. Pretty straightforward stuff if you've got the right tools. If you've never been in that area of the car before, then I have got a timing belt video for the Volvo D5 engine, which should stand you in good stead to get yourself into that area without too much difficulty. So let's go and fix this oil leak. So this is the situation that we've got here. Obviously the engine guard caked in oil. You can see it coming out there, and that would be more to the right hand side. And then if we go under the car, you can see obviously the drips of oil. Now, although it goes all the way over to the right hand side, which would be worrying if you've got a core plug failure, but that's more of a misting, and the actual concentration of the oil is all on the right hand side. You can see it all over the wishbone here, and up at the side of the sump you can see the crank pulley, and so that's the high point there on the crank pulley side. So that's why I've come to the conclusion that it's the crank oil seal, and so all this is going to get cleaned up first. These are the parts I'm going to be fitting. This is the front crank seal, which is quite a thick plastic seal with a spring inside it. You can just see the spring just there. Then I'm also going to be doing the oil pump gasket. This fits behind the oil pump and helps make the oil pump to the engine block. And then the oil pump seal, this fits around the outside of it. So like I say, it's a standard timing belt change, and then I've got to get the crank pulley off down at the bottom. So I've just got a puller on there. I've got all the timing marks lined up, the belt's removed, and I've just got this puller here, which will have the thing off. So I'll just give it a little tug and take that off. It should come off now. Excellent. So that's the crank pulley off, and obviously I've cleaned all around here yesterday. It's nowhere near as bad as it was, but that's the seal there, just that black seal running around the centre part. But I'm actually going to take off the whole oil pump. So so all that is just these Torx bits here. So there's 1, 2, 3 and then 4, one at the top. So if you want to just change the front seal, all you need to do is just put a screw into that, and then pull it off with pliers, and then press the new one in with a socket, a deep socket. Like I say, I'm just going to take everything off now. So I've got the bolts removed, and all I'm trying to do now is just lever it out, and basically I'm just getting a screwdriver coming up that way. I've got to be careful of these pipes just here though, so I don't bend those, and it's just going to be a case of twisting that screwdriver there. I've also got one of the this is the belt guard which fits under there, and I've just got one of the bolts, which I'm going to put back in, and that will give me another point to be able to try and get some leverage going. And unfortunately it's going to be pretty difficult to film it because I really need to get under it and make sure I've got the right angles. So we'll come back in a sec. Excellent, and that's what lives behind the oil pump. And this is it in all its glory, just here. So it's going to be this seal here, which is going to be replaced, and this gasket at the back, this green one. So now I'm removing the seal. It's pretty easy to actually get your fingers underneath it if you've got nails, or you just use a slim screwdriver, and you just remove that. And you can see on this, on the green gasket on this, it's always difficult to tell exactly what's causing an oil leak, but the fact that this gasket was so brittle, I don't know, it was obviously creating a pretty poor sealing surface. And then just using carburetor cleaner, just working my way around, cleaning the recess where the seal will sit, and there you can see just how clean you need the area to be where the oil pump goes back on. So the oil pump's looking great. All those seal surfaces are looking good, and that gasket surface is nice and clean now. You can use fine sandpaper if you want to really get the surface, you know, spot on. And it's just a question now of just putting some oil onto the front crank seal. And this is the nice thing, when the pump's off the car, it's actually very easy to put the seal onto there. And you can just basically press it in with the heel of your hand. It's pretty straightforward. There is a special Volvo tool for fitting the oil pump back over the crankshaft, and you'll see in a bit the step that you have to overcome. I just kind of did it with a bit of trial and error, really. The important thing though is, whilst everything's apart, you've just got to make sure that seal is sitting right. You know, it's cleared everything it needs to clear, it's not bent out in any way. And as you can see, the clearance at around the top of the seal, it's uniform all the way around. That's a really nicely installed seal. And then it's just this outer seal stretches very easily over the outside of the oil pump. I would advise just using some fresh engine oil, just kind of dunking it into the bottle. Don't let go of it, whatever you do, otherwise you'll have fun digging that out of the oil bottle. And that just goes over the oil pump very, very easily. Just take your time, because the edge of the oil pump, it's quite a sharp edge, so don't be forcing that rubber over a sharp edge. Just take your time with that, and you'll find it goes on pretty easily. And then it's a question then of doing the green gasket. Now, I would recommend that you actually put this onto the car, not onto the oil pump. But what I'm doing here, I'm just opening it up just so I can show you how it can only be orientated one way. So that's the correct way there. Then if I turn it over, you can see that holes don't line up. it just looks all wrong. So there is only one way, because the bolt holes aren't symmetrical, and so you really can't get that gasket wrong. So that's how it would be if you're placing it on the pump, but it's very difficult when you're putting the pump on to keep the gasket in place, so I put it onto the engine itself. Okay, well, I ran into a bit of a problem with this because I couldn't find any tubing big enough to get the seal on. So basically I got I can't even describe what it is really. It's like a bolt cover, a rubber bolt cover, and I got a couple of those, because the problem that you've got is getting the seal over that step. See that step just there? And see if I can touch it with a screwdriver. It's this here, that step there, and it pushes the seal inside out. Pushes the seal inside out as you're trying to push it on. So basically I protected that step and made the step smoother with these things here, and that allowed me to push the seal on. So if I pull this off now, obviously loads of lubrication and all of that, but you can see now the seal has cleared that step, and I just need to push it in just a little bit more just to finish the job off. So if you haven't got the correct tool or any space in, it's that step that you just need to make a bit shallower by, I don't know, maybe building it up with insulating tape, duct tape, something to make it smooth so the seal goes on easily. And so now that's the seal all done. Good clearance all the way around. The edge of the seal isn't catching anywhere, sitting nicely, and that's everything. So it's now just a question of putting everything back together, just getting the crank pulley back on, and just doing all the timing and everything. And that's that. So that's how you replace your oil pump, front crank seal, and oil pump seals as well. And thanks for watching.